Good morning, fans of the new network. It's James Ernest of Sarah's Playlist. We are excited. Bryan Scott, the vocalist of the Union Underground, is going to be joining us today to talk about Back to the 2000s tour. Bryan, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, James.
I understand it's going to be the Union Underground, Soil, and I might be saying this one, RAW and Flaw. Am I saying those
Yes,
right?
sir.
Oh,
Yep.
good. Okay. I was worried I was adding too much of a W there. But yeah, we're excited about the tour. It starts in San Antonio, Texas, and ends in Illinois. So it goes through the 1st through the 23rd of March. It's going to be awesome. We're excited about it. Is it a coincidence that it starts in Texas and ends in Illinois with you all being from Texas and Soil being from Illinois?
Yep. That was definitely by uh, we planned it out to where you know those guys will drive down, meet us here, and then the last show they'll be close to home, so they can just hit the bed after the last show within a few hours. So
That is,
yeah,
that is
definitely by
awesome.
design.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was going to say that'd be one heck of a coincidence. Now, the show that I'm going to be, or I'm biased, the one I'm excited about is the Cincinnati, Ohio on March 9th at the Bluenote. We're really excited about coming to see you live.
Nice, you guys coming out.
Oh, gosh, yes. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Yeah, and the Bluenote, I don't think I've ever played there. So that's good. That's going to be a first for me.
Oh, cool. That's always
Yeah.
good. It's always nice to try new clubs. So, how did growing up in Texas influence your passion for music?
I had several family members. There was always music in the house, you know. My grandmother played piano all the time, and most of my aunts and my mom play piano. So there was always a lot of piano happening in the house. And of course, um, once I was, 9, 10 or so, my mom was playing a lot of cool just 70s rock in the house. So, you know, that was a big influence listening to, like kind of old ZZ Top and Aerosmith and the Eagles, that kind of thing. So that was a huge influence. And a lot of those kinds of bands were popular in Texas, you know, and I mean, everywhere, of course, but,
Yeah.
you know,
Definitely. So it sounds like your family encouraged music and really enriched you with it.
oh, yeah, definitely. No one has pursued it professionally.
Mhm.
Um, I'm the only one that kind of broke out into that madness, right? But there was definitely music in the house always.
So has the Union Underground been a thing since your junior high school days?
No, not that early. Um, the first, ideas of it did start in high school, kind of, junior, senior year. We started kind of putting it together after high school.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, it goes way back. I mean, different names and different little mixtures of members and things, but yeah, I mean, the concept, goes way back.
Excellent. So it's fluctuated, it's grown, it's evolved over the years, it sounds like.
Hmm.
Awesome. And then will you be performing your hit album, An Education in Rebellion, at the Back to the 2000s tour?
Yep, we're gonna do so. The concept for the whole tour, really, and all the bands involved, is to play their first records in its entirety, and then of course, pepper newer stuff around the set. But we're gonna do that as well and play that record front to back, and then also a song called "Across the Nation," which was not on that record,
Mhm.
and a couple of new ones that no one has heard yet. So that's going to be kind of a treat for everyone. So there'll be a couple of songs that uh, could make it to the new record. We've been
Nice.
playing them, and so that we're kind of testing them out.
Yeah, because I had heard rumors and I read some things online that there might be some unreleased songs being performed during the tour. So that's great to hear.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's exciting. We there's some things we have to keep a little under wraps
Mhm.
because we know that a song that we know is going to probably be a lead single on a record,
Mhm.
we don't want floating around the internet, before it's released.
Exactly. I know what you
You
mean.
know, so we're a little careful about what we play that's unreleased, but there'll definitely be some treats for people.
That is awesome. Speaking of treats, I understand it's a treat to perform with Soil. You've worked with them before in the past. What about Raw and Flaw?
Yeah, Soil, Tim and I, Tim from Soil, we go way back. We also have me, Tim, and Adam from Soil have a side project called Into the Fire that we kind of toy with occasionally. And so we have a lot of history. And the Raw and Flaw guys, I was not familiar. I knew the names,
Mhm.
but I was not familiar with the music. So it was fun to go dig into what they were doing and kind of get introduced to their music as well. And I think it's a great fit. Like everyone's very excited. All the chatter online is amazing, about how much they like the lineup as a whole, which is nice. Because a lot of times, you're only coming out to see the headliner, or the majority of the audience is only there for the headliner. I think this is the case where it really is a diverse audience that's excited about all the bands on the tour, which is nice.
Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those shows you want to be there at the start all the way to the end, as opposed to I know what you mean. There's been some shows where you're like, I'm just going to show up for this one or that one, but this has
Yeah,
really got a great lineup for it.
agreed.
So you mentioned your song "Across the Nation." Now, obviously, you have a lot of fans that have listened to your music, but I would say that one has probably had the most listeners to it because of the experience with WWE. What was that like working with them?
That was exciting because at the time there was a lot of really good bands. So it started out with a compilation that had a lot of bands that we had been on Ozfest with already. So it was kind of cool that a lot of guys that we had gotten to know, Disturbed, Drowning Pool, Manson, I think even Slipknot is on that record, if I'm not mistaken. But there's a lot of bands on it, and everyone was supposed to. The project's theme was to take, I guess, a wrestler's theme song
Mhm.
and do a cover of it, and that's the idea that was pitched to all the bands. And the one that we got, I was just, I wasn't feeling it. I mean, it was just one of those things you either feel it or you don't, right?
Exactly.
But I liked because sometimes, obviously with those kind of things, the lyrics can be a little silly, and they kind of wanted you to
Oh yeah.
use some, you know, use some of the lyrics and stuff. But I liked the bass line in the piece, so you know, I pitched back to them, "Hey, I'm going to take this bass line and just write a Union Underground song around it. Is that cool?" And they said, "Hey, just send it to us and we'll let you know," right? Um, and I thought it wasn't going to go at first because it had nothing to do with what we were supposed to be doing with the track, you know. But they loved it,
Oh
you know.
gosh, yeah. I mean, they
They
made that
loved it.
their flagship. Yeah.
Yeah, for years. I mean, I think it was the theme song for the show for 5 years or so.
Mhm.
So yeah, that turned out well because that could have gone the complete opposite direction and no one would have heard it.
Yeah, so that was phenomenal. Do you remember who the wrestler was by chance that they assigned you?
I do. His name was Test, and I'm
Oh,
not. Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
that familiar with all the characters' names, but that's who it was because they're one version of the song had a big chant of Test in it.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
we had actually recorded and decided not to use.
you did the right thing. Yeah, because yeah, his original song wasn't that great to begin with, so trying to modify that would have been a pain in the neck.
Yeah, yeah.
So let's see. One of the songs that I always find interesting with you all is that False Caterpillars and how it was only released for about 24 hours. What was that all about?
Well, we actually never put that up. Um, and once again, it was kind of a decision we made after we had planned on releasing something in 2017. Those plans changed, the things change constantly. But so we decided not to put that up because once again, I didn't want, because that song will absolutely be a single from the record.
Oh,
So
wow.
I didn't want that floating around,
Mhm.
you know, even 30 seconds of it,
Mhm.
because it just be for the obvious reasons. I mean, it's a problem, you know.
Yeah,
6 months later, some band has the same chorus out, and you're like, okay, well, you know.
exactly. I know what you mean.
So yeah, we kept that under wraps. But that is a song that will be on the new record.
Ooh, you got some inside info. That's awesome. So will Back to the 2000s tour be reintroducing the world to new metal, or is it just kind of a continuation?
Yeah, it's just a continue. You know, that I think the new metal label is a little misleading sometimes. You know, um, I think most bands that released any kind of heavy music, heavy rock music or metal in the early 2000s was kind of lumped into that label. You
Mhm.
know, to me, like new metal's more like Korn, Limp
Oh,
Bizkit. You know, even Linkin Park. It's something that has a rap kind of
oh,
feel with metal. That's
oh.
kind of how the new metal thing started.
Mhm.
But then every band that kind of released heavy music kind of just got lumped into that label. So, and Soil is not new metal at all, and I don't think they even um, claim to be. And it's a little misleading as a label for us as well because we don't. I mean, you know, if you listen to Rebellion,
Yeah.
it's really not in that genre at all. You know, um, so, um, but as far as nostalgia is concerned, I guess people would assume that, you know, which is fine. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you either love the songs or you don't, whatever the labels, you know.
So people comparing Back to the 2000s tour to the Ozfest do you feel there's any fair comparison there?
Yeah, I mean, just the feel of it, you know, and some of the bands from the era. Yeah, we were hoping to have that tone, you know, with those types of bands. Um, that was a great time in music, I think, you know. So yeah, I think as a tone and feel that it'll definitely have that type of, you know, minus the festival atmosphere, of
Yeah.
course. You know, we'll have it in the clubs, you know.
Fans and critics have called your album An Education and Rebellion timeless. Is that why you're sharing it with the current generation of metal fans?
Yeah, I think you know, I just think it's such a cool, diverse collection of songs, and that's why it's kind of stood the test of time. It didn't just represent one single moment, you know, in time. So um, I think it does kind of speak to different generations. I mean, you know, get comments on social media and online all the time from people that are much younger than I am, and that's, you know, that's nice for people and people that are just being introduced to it, you know. So that's it's nice to kind of, you know, everyone that grew up on there was our age, you know, seeing us
Yeah.
live back in the day are now bringing their kids
Oh,
or their
cool.
little brothers and sisters, and you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, kind of that next generation just uniting families. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I understand the overwhelming devotion of your fans has inspired you to create Let's Get It On. I know you'd mentioned, False Caterpillars will probably be on that album. Some other songs on the album probably can't go into too much, but just tell us about how their dedication and commitment to you inspired you.
It does really because you- I have another project called Cult to Follow that I've focused on, you know, for the last 10 years or so. And as I was writing songs for that project, I would I would come across things that I thought, man, this would just make a great Union Underground song. And I was constantly getting you know, feedback online about, you know, the original record, and just anything that little things that I would tease about new songs and stuff. And it's just, there's so much excitement about new material that those things that I had been filing away, um, I thought, man, you know, they have to be heard, you know. I think people deserve to hear them. So yeah, it absolutely fuels it. You know, if I wasn't getting that kind of response, you know, I would probably just use those songs for a different project, you know. So they definitely dictate the action there.
You mentioned Into the Fire. Will you be teaming up with the bandmates from that and performing during the Back to the 2000s tour?
They that has been the $1 million question. We That's gonna have to be, we're gonna keep that a
As a
secret.
secret?
Yeah, because
Cool.
yeah, we have been chatting about it though, because that it would be super fun.
Oh gosh, yeah. If you guys are already there, might as well kind of,
We're
yeah,
all there. Yeah,
exactly. Make
there's a
that
few
the,
drummers in the room, you know.
oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, make that the grand finale kind of thing of it. That could be awesome. Heck yeah. And then the other thing I really find interesting, besides your music, because your music's amazing, is that you have an apparel line. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the so that's gonna launch hopefully by February 1st, just coming up next week.
Ooh, awesome.
Um, yeah, so, and we haven't leaked any items yet,
Mhm.
but and we'll have several of those things available on the tour, of course.
Oh, cool.
But the online stores is going to be quite elaborate,
Oh,
you know.
nice.
So there's really cool kind of, you know, novelty things you wouldn't really find on a normal band's merch site. So we really wanted it to kind of, you know, just go beyond the typical t-shirt and hoodie and, you know, a beanie, right?
Exactly. It looked like there were shoes on the website, which, oh my gosh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. there there is going to be several shoes, yeah, for women's and men's, kind of exercise shoes, cool boots,
Oh, wow.
um, all kinds of, and there's all kinds of women's wear as well. Because that's kind of one of the complaints that a lot of bands get from fans, is there's not enough stuff for the girls. You know,
Exactly.
girls don't really like to wear black concert t-shirts with tour dates on them. You know, it's not really their thing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you can give them some items that, you know, they would actually wear in just, you know, in a normal capacity, um, yeah, I think they would appreciate it. And there's going to be a quite a quite a line. You know, it's probably too many items, to be honest, but these will be some good choices.
Oh, that's phenomenal. It's always great to have options. And then, like you were saying, February 1st, with that starting up, that means it is going to be the perfect Valentine's Day gift item to give out to your loved ones.
There you go. That is very true.
So it has been a pleasure having you on, Brian. So our guest today, Bryan Scott, the vocalist for Union Underground. He's part of that Back to the 2000s tour, featuring, of course, Union Underground, Soil, Raw, and Flaw. Brian, before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web, where can our listeners find out more about you?
So our main website is theunionunderground.com. And then, of course, you know, on all social media, um, just search the Union Underground. And, you know, on our website has all our social links. So you can find everything there.
That is awesome. It has been a pleasure having you on today.
Thanks so much, James.